Welcome to Srimad Bhagavad Gita class. Today we are reading from chapter 14, verse 21. Repeat after me. Arjuna Vacha Kailinge Strin Gunanetan Atito Bhavati Prabho Kimachara Katham Chetan Trigunanati Vartate. Translation. Arjuna Uvacha. Arjuna said, Ke, by which, Linga, symptoms, Trin, three, Gunan, qualities, Itan, all these, Atite, having transcended, Bhavati, is, Prabho, O my Lord, Kim, what, Achara, behavior, Katham, how, Ka, also, Itan, these, Trin, three, Gunan, qualities, Ativartate, transcends. Translation. Arjuna inquired, O my dear Lord, by which symptoms is one known who is transcendental to these three modes? What is the behavior and how does he transcend the modes of nature? Purport. By His Divine Grace, A.C. Bhakti Vedanta Swami Srila Prabhupada. Srila Prabhupada ki jai. In this verse, Arjuna questions are very appropriate. He wants to know the symptoms of a person who has already transcended the material modes. He first inquires of the symptoms of a such transcendental person. How can one understand that he has already transcended the influence of modes of material nature? The second question asks how he lives and what his activities are. They are regulated or non-regulated. Then Arjuna inquires of the means by which he can attain the transcendental nature. That is very important. Unless one knows the direct means by which one can be situated always transcendentally, there is no possibility of showing the symptoms. So all these questions put by Arjuna are very important and the Lord answers them. So we are reading chapter 14, the three modes of material nature. So before we understand this verse, this particular verse 21, we need to understand the previous verses. So I just wanted to give a little gist about that. Here two words are very important, symptoms and behavior of three modes of material nature and of those who have transcended that. So what is three modes of material nature? What are they? Three modes of material nature has been discussed earlier in this chapter and earlier chapter are mode of goodness, mode of passion and mode of ignorance. Satogun, Rajagun and Tamogun. So the question Arjuna is asking is actually we all are also seeking that. That question is not from Arjuna, it is from all of us. So what is the symptom of a person who has passed or who is beyond or who is transcendental to the mode of goodness, to mode of passion and mode of ignorance? And these three modes of material nature binds each and every individual. Whether they say, I am a very highly elevated, educated person, they get tied by the golden rope of Gyan Bhava. They think they are very happy, they are very educated, they are very high profile in everything. Their routine is very good. They wake up early, they follow this, they follow that. If this is the mindset, they get tied up by mode of goodness. They may be the researchers, they may be the seekers of what's happening around, Sankhya Yoga. But if they are thinking in this way, then they get tied. Mode of passion makes you to achieve something, to be materially happy. The seekers here in the mode of passion seeks the happiness through material achievements, material happiness. They are never on rest. They keep on putting their endeavors. And mode of ignorance are those, they follow no routine, they follow no injunctions of the scriptures at all. They make their own rules and they break all rules. So all three are get tied by somewhere lower or higher. Those who leave their body in mode of goodness, they take birth among the Siddhas. They can also get elevated to Devi Devatas if they have the devotion, but not up to the complete form where they can reach back home, back to Godhead. The mode of passion make them again come back to earth, because they have that endeavor, propensity to keep on doing something and keep on achieving. So the mindset is like an achiever. They came back here to continue their journey. And those who leave their body in mode of ignorance, they go to the lower planetary system or lower species. So this we have to very much understand. Then what we are talking about, beyond all these three, only Krishna is Gunatit, who is beyond all these three. Even though he comes here, he does his all kind of activities, pastimes, leelas, but he never get tied by any of these three. And those who are following the path of Bhakti Yoga, those who are following the footsteps of Srila Prabhupada, they should also come up to the level where they transcend these three modes of material nature. Here in same chapter 14th, chapter 5th verse is talking about that everybody is pure, but they behave differently when they come in contact with particular type of body, nature and surrounding. So you are not acting actually, your these three modes of material nature making you act. And how to transcend it? By following Bhakti Yoga. First you have to understand what is the problem. Half of the people never understand the problem. Like you visit a doctor, you have no idea what's going on inside your body. So first we have to trace what is the problem, the disease, then only you can cure that. Same way with us also. We don't understand the actual problem and we keep on searching answer here and there. Like it's a very popular saying, like you are searching a key under the wrong, lamp post or something. You are searching on a wronger side. So Krishna is Gunatit and we follow him, and we are also expected to be above these three modes of material nature and to come up to Shuddha Sattva, pure goodness. Pure goodness means you are not getting abide by anything. Nothing is tying you. Any kind of ego, false ego, proprietorship, I am this, I made this, I am having so many followers, I did that, nothing is going to tie you up. You do it and you offer it to Krishna. that is Shuddha Sattva, because you are able to see the things as it is. We are putting on glasses, the eyesight get weak in due course of time. Some are having this number, some are having that number of eyeglasses. Why? To correct the eyesight. Everybody is not given the same eyeglasses. Everybody is given different. Right or wrong? Same way, you have to search your own disease, which thing is tying you down. And that is very easy to search through Srimad Bhagavad Gita, through the association of devotees, through chanting your rounds. Because Krishna will reveal it to you. Through devotees, they will guide you. They will answer your unanswered questions which were being pending past years and years. Or Krishna will answer as a Chaitya Guru. Krishna is sitting into your heart, into each and every individual's heart as Chaitya Guru. He will guide you. He will answer you. So we have to, this is the question of Arjuna. Then how can I understand and what is the symptom and behavior of the person who is beyond these three modes of material nature? And Krishna will answer it very beautifully in next 4-5 verses. But till now, we have to understand the disease. Disease within us, within our actions, within our mindset, and within our thought process. That is our work. Whatever we do, we get tied down with the result oriented mindset. Spirituality, Krishna consciousness teaches us, do your work and leave result, offer it to Krishna. Don't get abide by the results. Perform your duty and don't get attracted to the result. That is very simple process, but it has become very difficult because of our surrounding. People keep on telling you what are you thinking, what your life will be, how you gonna lead your life. That is why we need to have a community, we have to have association, so that all these wrong injunctions will not fade off our spiritual life or whatever progress we want to make in. Life is short in Kali Yuga. After this COVID, it became really very threatening and very unsudden and short. We are very fortunate we have been given this path of spirituality. We are on Krishna consciousness. Srila Prabhupada is merciful on all of us. Radharani is merciful. We are sitting in Sri Vrindavan Dham. So it's on us how we forward, take it further, and then we come up to a level where we decide this way or that way. So understanding is very much important. Here it's been mentioned by Srila Prabhupada, are they regulated or non-regulated? What? The activities. The activities of a person who is really following Krishna consciousness, who really wanted to go beyond these three modes of material nature, always act in a regular pattern. They are never irregular. Maybe initial days, initial years can be haphazard, but the process makes you regular, and that is why it is very much required. I would like to relate a story, tying down who is tying and who is who. Years back in medieval era, used to have the Babajis or Fakir. They used to be, even nowadays we see them, and they used to be very inquisitive about the day-to-day activities of a normal person. So One day it was a busy market, and one Babaji was sitting and watching people doing their daily activities. It was a very busy day. That Babaji saw that one washerman holding the rope of a donkey tied to donkey's neck, and donkey is carrying a lot of load on his back. Babaji got little bewildered in his way, and he rushed toward that washerman and asked, I am little confused, may I ask a question to you? So that washerman said, yes Babaji, go ahead. So he said, you both are tied through a same rope. One is in his neck, donkey's neck, and one is in your hand. Who is the master? So even the passing by people got awestruck, and they really wanted to hear the answer of the washerman. So washerman was thinking, this Babaji is, I think, really mad. He has lost his mind. But what to do? I don't want to create more, embarrassing situation in the marketplace. So he come back to his composure and gather his normal situation, and he said, Babaji, this is my donkey, the rope in his neck, and I am holding it. So I am the master. Babaji really jumped near the donkey and the washerman. He said nothing. He just started staring at the rope, and without saying anything, he just cut the rope. Donkey started running on the other side, and the washerman started running behind the donkey. Babaji was so amused and started clapping and said, no, you were wrong. Donkey is the master. That is why you are running behind your master. So this is how the senses are. We think we are the master. We think we are controlling everything, but we are not. They are dragging us like a donkey, running, and the washerman is running. Same way we are. Are we running? Are we running? We are. Some are running, some are walking, some are really slow, but maybe some are not actually bothered about. We all are having some desires. So to fulfill that, our senses take us from one way to another. So we have to learn from this story who is the master. Actually, Krishna is the master. He is the master of his own senses and of our senses also. Right? He is Rishikesha. So offer your senses and the activities connected to the senses to the Lordship. So that is why we have the titles of Goswami and Actually Goswami means the one who has mastered the senses, the one who is controlling the senses is a Goswami. And we are Godas. The senses are making us run here, there. Once we decide something, after some time we decide, no, this is not good. Even we keep on challenging our own decisions. Today I say one thing, tomorrow I say another thing. Why? We are bewildered. Very much bewildered. We don't even stick to our spiritual life properly. And we keep on complaining this way or that way. This is not good, that is not good. But Srila Prabhupada has given everything so beautiful, wonderful, everything is perfect. What is your contribution in it? That is required rather than putting this is bad, this is wrong. Coming back to the shloka, like I said, regulated and unregulated, then Srila Prabhupada has mentioned it is very important unless one knows the direct means by which one can be situated always transcendentally. There is no possibility of showing the symptoms. You cannot show artificial symptoms. Sometimes some try to show off artificially, but it will not last long. The way you speak, the way you present yourself, how long you gonna hide things? Actions and reactions, the way the prompt way you behave, everything opens up. Every individual is unique, and Krishna loves us in every unique manner we can possibly exist. The relation Krishna is having with you is different. It's different with me. It's different with everybody. That is why we have to develop that love with Krishna, that in a very unique way, by following all regulative principles, by following the injunctions given by Srimad Bhagavad Gita, Srimad Bhagavatam, by following senior devotees. Guidance is very much important, which way to go. We have a lot of senior devotees, we can seek their help, can take guidance. Otherwise, this mode of goodness, mode of passion, and mode of ignorance will keep you jumping up and down all your life. So we have to come up to the level of pure goodness, where you don't get abide or tied by anything. What is happening? Happening for good. All good prayers. But we have to be very vigilant of our own actions, very vigilant of what is expected as a devotee out of me, very vigilant of what I am doing past so many years. In further coming shlokas, Krishna will very beautifully, I don't want to touch these further coming shlokas, but it's very mesmerizing and very nectarian in the sense you can make a beautiful checklist of that. Further 22nd to 25 or 26 in this same chapter 14th. 14th verse 22 to 26, I guess. It's beautifully explained. 22nd, 23rd, 24 and 25th. It's Krishna has explained very beautifully what is actually expected out of a person who has passed three modes of material nature. So what we can do practically, we can write up on a piece of paper. That's what I do. I used to do, I need to do even today also. Every day we need to have our own checklist and just read it daily. What Krishna is telling about, what shall be done, what is required. So maybe you can pick up few good points to really implement in your life, rather than I keep on showing false symptoms or false behavior of a pure devotee. We need not to behave like what we are not. Just follow the path. In due course of time, people will tell you. You need not to show your symptoms or behave in a very particular manner. With time, everything gets revealed. Who is a thief will be revealed. Who is a sadhu will be revealed. In this story, we have understood who is the actual master. So honesty to yourself is very much important, and honesty nowadays costs a lot. Honesty to yourself, to your Guru Maharaj, to Srila Prabhupada, to ISKCON is very much important. I would like to relate a story. When we used to be kids, we used to listen a lot stories of Akbar and Birbal, and they are still popular in India. But when I read them today, I relate it to practical life, to the devotion. It may be of different tongue, it may be written by somebody else, but every story comes and get you closer to Krishna if you have that understanding. So the story of Akbar Birbal, like as always, is full of some unusual teaching with a twist. So in that story, Akbar and Birbal, Birbal was one of the Navratnas, and they used to debate often, Akbar and Birbal. So they were debating, and that day Akbar said, Birbal, I think Honesty is one of the most sublime trait of a human, and mostly everybody is honest. Mostly everybody is honest by nature. This was the statement of Akbar. Birbal said, "My lord, I am not agreed with you at all." So he said, "Oh, really? So that what I was waiting for, so that we can debate about." So Birbal said, "According to me, people in general are honest because of the pressure and the circumstance. As soon as they get the opportunity, they become dishonest." So these are two different, altogether different statements. They keep on debating for all day, all long, and they were not able to come up to any point. What to decide, who is right and who is wrong, how to put a siddhantic thing, how. So next day in the court of Akbar, Birbal said, "My lord, I think we should conclude it, and I got an idea. Let's give a royal decree to everybody in our jurisdiction, in our area, that everybody should come and pour 1 liter of milk in dry well." So Akbar was thinking, it's something really weird every time when I come into debate, but it's okay. He's one of the Navratna, and he always gives a very good, answer. So let him try. So even though Akbar was not a full yes on that, but then he said, "Okay, go ahead and try." So it been said to the people, the royal decree, that everybody should put 1 liter of milk, not more, not less, 1 liter of milk in a dry well. Everybody. Okay, everybody started bringing 1 liter of milk, and they started pouring. Morning passed, afternoon passed, evening, dusk, and next day morning they reached. So everybody is done. Yes, everybody is done. They have filled the dry well. When Akbar and Birbal went there, they saw there was no milk, only water, and it was their surprise. I mean, everybody was showing up in a queue. I will also go, I will also go. Everybody went, but they took water instead of milk, because everybody was thinking, who gonna judge, I poured water or milk? Everybody thought in the same manner, and they poured only water. So this is how humans are, we all are. So the Birbal stated, provided, the honesty is only provided due to force, due to maybe circumstances, or maybe I will get a bad name. That honesty is subjective. Humans are opportunist. The way they get to be dishonest, they get some opportunity, they become dishonest. They don't bother. But a Vaishnava, but a devotee is always honest. The highest level of opportunity you got to become a devotee. This is the highest opportunity you got to become a Vaishnava. And this opportunity dissolves every opportunity in it. Whether somebody is watching or not, a devotee who has really transcended 3 modes of material nature will always abide by whether somebody is watching or not. If it's been said 1 liter of milk means 1 liter of milk. Right? So no more opportunities are required, because the best opportunity is to achieve Krishna, to love Krishna, to serve Krishna. What else? And once Krishna is convinced, he will give you everything. Even though he is not convinced, then is also you are getting everything. But best of the things will come to you So devotees are those who are having of higher intelligence. Why I related this story? Because this story is talking about the symptoms and the behavior of a one who has passed these three modes of material nature. Honesty to yourself is very much required. How I am chanting my rounds, how I am behaving as a Vaishnava, what is expected out of me. Will Srila Prabhupada take me back home, back to Godhead? Will he permit as a Guru, as a founder Acharya? If Krishna gonna ask Prabhupada, Prabhupada you tell, shall I take this person back or not? So, what do you think? But Prabhupada will give answer. Because Prabhupada is watching us, what we are doing, good or bad, nonsense, everything is watching. So, the first honesty is to yourself. You are not this body, you are a soul, every day reading. But what you are doing for your soul? Honest answers, honest questions are very much required. We are not here to just discuss the philosophy. We have to take practical out of it. I may be this small devotee, but I fit in into this. I wanted to grow up, become a better devotee. There is no range for devotees, but there are degrees of surrender. The more you surrender, the more you feel, the more you get. What you get? The transcendental vibrations of chanting of Hare Krishna Mahamantra, of reading of the verses of Srimad Bhagavad Gita and Srimad Bhagavatam. Everybody is sitting in the class, but everybody will not feel the same way. Why? Krishna is same, his words, everything is same, but everybody will perceive in a different manner because everybody is sitting with a different mood. This much I will take and this much I will not take. Let it pass by. So honest contemplations is required on our part to surrender, and then always has a desire to grow. Bhaktivinoda Thakur has given a very beautiful Vaishnav bhajan. I remember so many years back when I was in Bangalore, I went to that T.D. Swami Maharaj Ji's Vyasa Puja. There they were singing Grahe Thako Vane Thako Sada Hari Bole Dako Sukhe Dhuke Buleo Na Koi Sada Hari Naam Japore. That is one of the beautiful song, and the Maharaj has sung it so beautifully. It not only went into my ear, it went to my heart. And the process for everybody is same. Whether you are of this Varna or whether you are of this Ashrama. Varna, you are a Brahman, Kshatriya, Vaishya, Shudra. You are a Brahmachari, Grihasth, Vanprasthi or Sannyasi. The process is same. Is it not? Same process. Chant Hare Krishna and be happy. The process is not changing. The process remains the same. It's so sublime, it's so simple for everybody. It's not like you will get another mantra, you will get another mantra, you will get this, you will get. Everybody is getting one thing. To perfect the life, what we have got to actually achieve the love of Godhead. No discrimination. All Maharaj are chanting the same, we are also chanting the same Hare Krishna Mahamantra. So problem lies in our action. Problem lies in our surrender. Problem lies in our conviction. The process is perfect because it's coming from Krishna. It's coming from Srila Prabhupada. They have already succeeded in everything, the earlier acharyas and all. Hare Krishna, I stop here. Question or comment? Hare Krishna, Prabhuji.
Right.
Hare Krishna, Prabhuji.
As you were speaking that Krishna will ask Srila Prabhupada to take. So my point is that Krishna, he took Putna, he took so many demons. Whom did he ask?
I didn't get you.
Krishna took the demons Putna and other demons. Whom did he ask?
Krishna need not to ask anybody. He understands everything. I put this statement to awaken awareness that Srila Prabhupada is watching us. We are not that good that Krishna can take us straight, because we have to follow the parampara. Everything moves through Srila Prabhupada. Everything goes through Guru. So in that way I said, and yes, when Krishna took all the demons back, the demons were earlier used to be very exalted personalities. Putna was in Vara avatar, in Vaman avatar. She was also serving the Lord somewhere, and she wanted to feed him with milk. And when he took away the land, then she said, I will poison the child this way. So it was a desire. It not came like anyone be. It came by the desire, and Krishna fulfilled that desire in Krishna Leela. But that desire took place in Vaman Leela. So Krishna need not to ask anybody. But yes, if he will ask, are we prepared? Are we justify our position? Are we justified to be a devotee? Are we good to ourselves? Are we honest to our movement?
One more.
Yes, Prabhuji.
Prabhupada said anyone who is chanting Hare Krishna, they will go back on back.
Yes.
So what is this statement?
Definitely it's true. When Prabhupada said, if we are actually chanting Hare Krishna Maha Mantra, completing our 16 rounds, we are going back home, back to Godhead. Provided we are not doing a show off, and our behavior is actually in a surrendering form rather than a show off. Hare Krishna.
I just wanted to understand what was the question you asked, first question. What was the question she asked?
Ask him, he asked.
I asked him, Krishna, he took the demons Putna and other demons.
नहीं, उसके पहले आपने पूछा एक question.
नहीं कोई पूछो, यही सारा मैंने भाई भगवान इससे पूछिए इन तीनों को लिया क्या प्रॉपर को पूछना है भाई इसको लेना है इसको नहीं लेना
हाँ हाँ.
भगवान पूछे लेकिन इन राक्षसों को क्या
हाँ, just Mataji, with his question only, it's moving on. I'm putting it as a contradictory statement. कि you are saying कि we have to first be honest to our own self.
Yes.
So Mataji, first of all, do we know ourselves at all? Number one question. And honesty will come afterwards. First, we need to know who, at least who am I? We don't know anything about ourselves. It's only Krishna who knows about all our previous lives and the lives ahead to come, with whatever kind of wishes, desires, lust, greed, anger, whatever kind of karmas we are holding within us, which we ourselves don't know. So, honesty meaning to whom? To our own self.
Yes.
Who we don't know.
No.
Please try and understand. How do I be honest? My question is.
I'll answer first question first. Your question is how to be honest to yourself when you don't know who you are. You are the part and parcel of Krishna. That's been stated in Bhagavad Gita chapter 2 itself. And we are reading chapter 14. So who are we? We are part and parcel of Krishna. We are given this body to reconnect, to flourish that lost relationship what we were having and reach up to the platform where we are beyond three modes of material nature. We are not having any desire. So when you understand through Bhagavad Gita, I am not this body, I am soul, I have come from Krishna and I have to go back to Krishna, then the process of further questioning starts. So the first question closes, who are you? The honesty to yourself is, I belong to Krishna. I have come from Krishna, I belong to Krishna, and Srimad Bhagavad Gita states that highest perfection of life is to achieve Krishna when you die. So that what's been said in Srimad Bhagavad Gita through Krishna, through Srila Prabhupada, we are understanding that. Now second question, Mataji.
Now, second question comes, if suppose I have understood that I am a part and partial of Krishna, then the degree of surrender which you mentioned, there should be an utmost level of degree of surrender. So, Mataji, the question is how do I make a degree of, how do I come to know a notion that this is my degree of level of surrender where Krishna will try to pull me up? It is only Krishna's blessing or the Vaishnava's blessing or the devotee's blessings or Radharani's kripa, if she is actually, even if I am doing any service and there is kind of a mercy getting from Radharani, I can attain that kind of a degree of surrender.
Yes, but when your question is good, it's very practical, but when you follow the path of spirituality, bhakti yoga for years and years, when you associate with devotees, when you yourself is following things, you understand. Last year I was up to this level. We wanted to achieve Krishna, which is the highest perfection. So don't you think we have to make proper plans for it? We have to make a proper checklist for it. What time I am waking up, how many Mangala Aaratis I am attending, how many Kartik Vratas I am following, how many Ekadashis I am chanting, how many rounds. This way you keep on tracking yourself and your degree of surrender will not limit up to your sadhana bhakti, rather it will start reflecting into your day-to-day activities. Then from Mam to Sarva, from me to everybody, from Mam to Krishna, from yourself you will start seeing everybody as a family of Krishna, as a part and parcel of Krishna, and then somebody of your Shiksha Guru. That is why Gurus are here, that is why senior devotees are here, that is why we tell you be under some of the devotees group or counseling group, so they will keep you bringing from step A to B to C to D. That is their work. So in earlier days we used to maintain our sadhana plan. We used to have one sheet, we used to Xerox it for 30 sheets, morning Mangala Aarti tick, chanting by this 7 o'clock tick. So we used to do all these things. So we have to track ourselves, and then only the degree of surrender will keep on rising by the blessings, by the association of senior devotees. At last, it is up to Krishna to take us or reject, but we have to put our honest endeavors, Mataji. I wanted to relate a very few minutes of thing. When we hear that Nal Kuber and Manigriv story in Kartik Mas, the rope was shot by 2 fingers. The Acharya has given very beautiful elaboration points on that. 2 fingers, why only 2? You are talking about the mercy of devotees, Srila Prabhupada, yes, Radharani, yes, but first is endeavors. That is why 2 finger shot. You have to put your endeavors, then you will get the blessings. Maybe you are putting only this much of effort, but you will get this much of mercy. That depends on the Lordship, how merciful they are. But you have to put your step further. You have to put your endeavors. You have to put serious efforts. Then only everything you will get. So it has to be from both the sides. from our side also and from Krishna's side also. We can't just keep on sitting, Krishna will someday bless us. No, Krishna, I am serious. I really seeking that. And I am ready to do all these things. I am ready to give up all these wrong things. So this is the checklist. This is your dedication and surrender. And it will keep on moving through your association of devotees. Your Shiksha Guru, your Diksha Guru will keep on guiding you. Hare Krishna. Yes, Prabhuji.
Hare Krishna. Mother, as you were saying that we are all part and parcel of the Supreme Personality of Godhead. So when we are all part and parcel of the Lord, that means we are all related to each other. Then why do we find some faults in each other?
That is the nature we acquire when we come into contact with three modes of material nature and continuous association of wrong people, continuous association of wrong mindset of people. The jealousy, the fault finding propensity is there in all of us. It come, like I mentioned, you came late in the class. 14.5 verse is telling we are pure. We start showing off all these bad qualities when we come in contact with three modes of material nature. So to cut that, you have to follow the process.
In Putna's case, Putna was the daughter of Bali Maharaj, everybody knows. She was surrendered of Lord. I want to clear it. She was a surrendered soul.
Yes.
That is God gave him Golo.
Yes. Krishna given the post of mother to Putana because her desire was so strong to take Krishna as son in earlier avatar. But Krishna fulfilled. That is why Krishna is full in his everything. Is complete. He is not avatar. He is avatari. He is complete in every sense, and he comes and fulfills the desire of every devotee. He is not seeing faults. He is saying only good. That is the quality of Krishna. He is a loving God who loves, who relish each and every one good quality. Maybe in small proportion we are having, but Krishna remembers that. In Bhagavatam also it's been mentioned. If Krishna, you say Krishna and say some bad word behind, Krishna will only remember he has called me as Krishna. He will neglect the wrong part. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna. I read that Prabhupada said that if not less than 60 rounds for sure every day.
Yes.
And he also said, okay, if you're working, fair enough, but Sunday you must at least 1 week in a day. And then I also read that he has also mentioned that he was never, for a long time, he never met his Guru Maharaj, but he was always inspired by his words of taking the Krishna movement across the world. So when we talk about the three modes, which influence us, so visiting the temple association once in a week as has been approved by Prabhupada, it's fair enough. But somebody, if takes up time and attempts to visit temple or do some other activity, which category would that fall in? It would be passion or can be put in the category of the Sadhguru as well? Because in any case, as approved by Srila Prabhupada, once is fair enough. But then sometimes passion drives us. So is it passion or can we compromise? I mean,
No.
dilute and say
No,
fair
it is
enough?
not passion. When you are coming to temple as a devotee, you are feeling happy to see the deities, you are feeling happy to see the devotees. It is the love for Krishna and the surrounding which inspire to get close to Krishna is increasing. We cannot say it passion, because when it's coming close to Krishna, everything gets purified. Like when we get close to fire, everything gets burned. Same way, when you are coming close to Krishna, everything gets purified. There is nothing called passion about it. You are a devotee, you are an aspiring devotee, and when you are visiting feeling good and you want to visit more, most welcome. Maybe you are not visiting, maybe Krishna wants to see you. It's been mentioned, I was hearing one of the lecture few years back. It's been said that when the Arati time comes, not only devotees are seeing Krishna, even Krishna is seeing who has come, who is missing. So don't take it from your side. It's not you are coming and visiting temple. Maybe Krishna wants to see you because you are part and parcel of Krishna. Maybe he want to have a glance on you, bless you, so that you can be associated with devotees, can complete your rounds nicely, can have prasadam. So it's not from your side, it can be from Krishna's side. So everything which is related to Krishna is pure. Hare Krishna. Hare Krishna. Hare Krishna.
If I heard properly, everybody says chanting 16 rounds, not every day.
No, he said good enough every
I
day.
said
Minimum.
Not less than 16 rounds on a day. That's what I read.
Daily we have to chant 16 rounds minimum. Hare Krishna. Srila Prabhupada ki jai.